Welcome back to a thrift with me in Los Angeles. I wanted to take you along while I thrift for a couple hours and show you some of the stuff that I pick up and some of the stuff that I leave behind. I started off in handbags, no particular reason, it's just a small section here. So I typically am kind of lazy. I look for the hardware to see if I can spot the brand so I don't have to open up every bag. But here's a Michael Kors. They did have this marked up and it did have quite a bit of wear, so that was left behind. This is a True Religion bag, also marked up, and I didn't even bother looking at the comps, to be honest. This Kate Spade, I liked the style, but there were definitely some signs of wear, and it was also marked up. So unfortunately, I didn't get any handbags this day, but it wasn't my main goal. It's just always a quick stop to see if there's anything good. This time of year, I'm typically looking at sweaters, jackets, jeans, as I think most of us are for fall. Just kind of wanted to show you some of the brands. It's a hodgepodge. Los Angeles is not a, gold mine all the time. We have a lot of the same brands that the rest of the country has. But it is nice to find a hidden gem every once in a while. As I was inspecting this garment, trying to find a brand, I heard that they started rolling out some carts. This store actually does allow you to look at the new carts that were just brought out. So I picked up a few things there, but in general, just got back to the regular stuff, everything was full price. There was one color that was 50% off, but I was looking for some quality pieces, not really quantity this day. So I don't always shop for myself, but every once in a while I'll pick up a couple things for me, especially if it's a change of seasons. This is a Free People top I decided to grab for myself. And here's a lightweight cashmere sweater that was super soft. I also grabbed that for my personal closet. Most people do like to buy a few new things when the seasons change, and I am no exception. So one interesting part about my thrifting trips is that I usually get to meet a viewer or two, and this was no exception of a day. Vanessa actually said she watched some of my videos and we got to chit chat for a little bit. She is a relatively new reseller on Poshmark. I will link her Instagram down below if I get that from her. And it was just good to hear about her reselling journey, and she also showed me some of the stuff she picked up before she left. So it is a work day. I am usually pretty busy, but it's always great to meet new people. Here is a Lovers and Friends top that I really liked. So here's the tag. I loved the sleeve detail, but unfortunately there were a couple faint spots. So I don't like taking home projects if I can, especially at regular thrift store prices. So I decided to leave that behind. This is a cloth and stone dress. The color is concerning because it always feels like there might be a faint stain. And also it's not really the right season. This is kind of a brand I like to pick up at the bins, not really pay full price for. But I did like the style. This is a James Purse cashmere lightweight sweater. Felt great, but it just had a lot of pilling. Again, it's a project, and I just try to avoid bringing home projects if I can. This is a Madewell lightweight turtleneck. Madewell is another brand that the majority of items I find, I'll really only pay bins pricing, not full price, regular thrift store prices. So here's another cloth and stone. I do like the brand. That would probably sell for about $20, $25, but it's just not worth it for me this day. Here's a Vince top that it looked like some faint spots on the front, and again, full price, so I was going to leave that behind. This is another Vince top. It was just too basic. It actually was in pretty good shape, but nothing to write home about. So here's a few things that I decided to bring home to resell. This is a Madewell texture and thread top. I don't get much for these, but I liked the button detail and it was half off. This is a beautiful blouse by the Aritzia brand Wilfred. I'm just inspecting the buttons on the shoulder to make sure it's all there, but I really liked that. I loved the sleeve detail and just kind of the boho vibes. This is a Carhartt jacket. It's a men's size large, and based off of comps, I might be able to get about $50 for this. All of this stuff will be listed in case I miss sharing some information. You can check out my eBay store or Poshmark closet to find more information. This is a Lululemon. I think this is the Y tank. It's pretty common. It was in pretty decent shape, and they don't charge much for the tanks there, so I grabbed it. This is a brand called M0851. It's a Canadian brand that I have picked up a couple times, and I really liked the jacket. It might get a $75 to $100. I've got to do more research, but these are two Lululemon sport bras, and they seem to be in really good shape, and they don't charge much for sport bras there, so I grabbed those. This was a really fun pair of Madewell jeans with this kind of rainbow stitching on the pockets. So absolutely loved kind of the retro disco vibe, and it looks like I might be able to get $40, maybe even $50. I've got to still do my research. This is a purple label, Ralph Lauren. It's one of the higher labels, if not the highest, so I grabbed that. So this dress was really exciting. It's a new designer to me. I believe it's pronounced Alaya. And if you watch the movie Clueless, she actually references this designer, and I'll be sure to put a label picture up on the screen so you can see it. But I don't know the comps yet, but I might be able to get a couple hundred for it. So here's some things that I decided to leave behind. This is a new Tags Spider full zip hoodie. This looked like it had been run over by multiple shopping carts, and it looked like dust, but it also looked like it was just worn, and I didn't want the project, so I left it behind. This is a graphic tee, kind of a burnout tee by Scotch and Soda. And I do like this brand occasionally, but to be honest, the sizing was kind of throwing me off. It was very long and slender. It was a size large, but I don't know, it just seemed very odd, so I left that behind. This is a cardigan. I really liked the colors on the stripes. It didn't feel like great quality, and sure enough, this brand, Tea Party, is kind of just a boutique brand in Los Angeles, so I left it behind. This is kind of a one-piece jumpsuit, and I noticed there was a dry cleaning tag, which doesn't always mean anything, but also there was branding on the zipper pull, and then the tag looked intriguing, but unfortunately the comps, it didn't look like I would be able to get much more than 20 or 30 for it. So this is just a tee by Babaton, which is an Aritzia brand, I believe. I liked the style, but just not worth picking up at full price. So I thought I would show you a few dresses that I left behind as well. Here's a Dolan Left Coast Collection dress that is sometimes sold at Anthropologie. Obviously, I love the color, but it's just not going to bring in much money at full price. It just wasn't worth it for me. This is a great brand, one of my favorite brands to resell, but not this style. So Patagonia, I love selling the outerwear, but the dresses or pants, anything that doesn't have the logo showing, usually doesn't sell well for me. So I left that behind. This was an adorable dress with this kind of fringe pom-pom sleeves. THML, I believe they may have sold this at Anthro. I'm not 100% sure. I liked the style, just not the right season and not worth it to pick it up at full price. And lastly, in the dress section, here's a Free People dress. This had a outdated Free People tag. And although I liked the style, like with all the beading and sequins, the front just kind of threw me off. I don't know. It just seemed a little odd and dated. The black also seemed like it had been maybe washed. I'm not sure. I just didn't really like it. So I went over to shoes. This little small area, they do show some of the marked up shoes. Not everything makes sense to be marked up, but a lot of thrift store employees don't know all the best brands. They aren't resellers with all the knowledge that we have. So I do like to browse this area because there are occasionally times that it's worth paying up a little bit for some of the items in the marked up area, but today was not that kind of day. So I don't typically look at sneakers too often. It's just not what I have a lot of knowledge in. I do know these Air Force Ones had kind of a moment. There were 2 pairs and they were both marked up. And I did look up comps to see if it was worth doing a little cleaning, but unfortunately the comps look like they've gone down, so I left those behind. These pair of boots, I could tell they were kind of above the knee and flat, which I really like. These are Sam Edelman, and I put them in my basket to look up later, and sure enough, it looks like I might be able to get $100 or somewhere around there for these. So even though they were a little pricey, I think they were marked around $12, I thought it was worth it because it's right for the season. I spotted these Rag and Bone shoes and they look like a great basic. They were in decent shape. I put them in my basket to look up, but sadly the comps didn't look that great, maybe only 30, 35, and just not worth the price that they were asking for at this store. So I found another couple items for myself to keep. I've been looking for a pair of wedgie straights for myself, and I finally found them. And I'll show you in a second how I can kind of try them on in the store easily. This is a vintage Levi's blazer that's kind of oversized and made in the USA, wool. Really love the color, and it's also another piece I wanted for this fall for my own closet. So I decided to grab that to try on as well. Although the dressing rooms are non-existent in the store, I decided to use my phone camera as my mirror and just quickly throw on the jacket. I don't do a lot of trying on in stores. Most of the time it's Goodwill and I can return if something doesn't work out. But this, yeah, I think it's gonna be really cute with the right outfit and still casual and just the right color for me. If you don't know, jeans you can try on using the neck trick. It's not 100% accurate for everyone, but it does work for me the majority of the time. And so basically you take the jeans and you put it around your neck, and if it touches in the back, then it should be able to fit your waist. Lots of different factors go into it, but if you just Google the neck trick jeans, you should be able to find some articles with some helpful information. But that is it for this thrift with me. I will be back with another one soon.